Oh, hello there. I guess you want to know what I'm planning to read in October? But first, a moment for the outfit. I love it. Bride of Beetlejuice, if you didn't know. We've got the gloves, we've got the veil, we've got the dress. Actually, I'm gonna stand on this so you can see the dress. I'm doing multiple Halloween costumes for October, so this is the first. And I am here to talk about all the books that I'm planning to read this month and all the movies that I'm planning to watch this month. I love October. Like, I love it. I thrive in October. I love anything spooky. I love horror. Like, thank you. So let's talk about all my fun plans. I'm really excited. I have a very long list. Obviously, who knows if I'll get to them all, but I hope so because I'm really excited about them all. So the first books are from Book of the Month, who are sponsoring this video, so thank you so much to them. And I'm really excited about their October selections. So I'm sure most of you know Book of the Month is a super popular and fast growing online book service for readers. So basically their team vet hundreds of books every month and gives readers their choice from a curated selection of new and early release titles. And this means that you as the reader can spend less time researching and more time actually reading. And I really appreciate that Book of the Month focus on promoting new and emerging authors. And they definitely have a diverse selection of books and authors that they choose, and I really have found some good books through the service. Book of the Month is also completely risk-free, so you can skip any month at any time and you won't be charged. And they have the best price for new release hardcover fiction, so you can get your first book for just $9.99 by using my code with Chloe. And really exciting news, Book of the Month also now ship to Canada, so I'm really hoping that in the future Book of the Month can, you know, ship to other countries too. That would be amazing. But yes, if you're able to get Book of the Month, highly recommend them. So now I'll show you my October selections. The first is The Kiss Curse by Erin Sterling. This is the sequel to The Ex-Hex, which I read last October. Absolutely loved it. It was just such a fun, spooky romance about these stunning witches cursing hexes on their exes. And it was just like the most iconic, like Hocus Pocus vibes in book form. And it was just such a fun read. So I definitely wanted to get the sequel, which is The Kiss Curse. And this follows Gwen, who was in the first book, and handsome Wells Penhallow as they battle a new band of witches and their own magical chemistry. Another one of their selections for this month is Thistlefoot by Jenna Rose Nethercott. Fun cover, absolutely love it. And I really also love the Book of the Month editions because they are exclusive to Book of the Month. So Thistlefoot is a fantasy and it's supposed to read like a classic modern fairy tale. It's rich in Eastern European folklore and it's all about ancestral hauntings that stalk us and the uncanny power of story. This supposedly has beautiful characters, beautiful prose. Thank you. I love a stunning modern fairy tale story. So definitely want to read this month, as well as The Kiss Curse. These are all the other selections that you can choose from this month from Book of the Month. And once again, you can get your first book for just $9.99 by going to bookofthemonth.com and using my code with Chloe. Thank you so much to Book of the Month for sponsoring this video. So the next book that I'll definitely be reading is Babel. Literally so excited for this. So this is obviously by R.F. Kuang. I'm sure you've heard of this book because it's very popular and it's been getting incredible reviews. Like, I don't think I've seen one person say that it wasn't good. And basically this is dark academia fantasy set in Oxford 1836. I've read The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang, really loved the writing and the characters and the world building and everything, so I think and hope I will love this even more, especially because, you know, I'm just really craving a dark academia stunning adult book. So yeah, also stunning floppy paperback. But yeah, this is for my Patreon book club this month, so if you want to buddy read with us, my Patreon is always linked below. But yes, cannot wait. Now of course I need some horror manga on my list, so I want to read Venus in the Blind Spot by Junji Ito. This is one of the few that I haven't read from the King Junji Ito, and this is a collection of some of his short stories. It's honestly been too long since I've read Junji Ito, so cannot wait. And I'm hopefully going to do like a fun Halloween 24-hour readathon vlog, so this could definitely be the vibe for that. Another horror manga that I want to read, Orochi by Casimir Umetz, and this follows a mysterious young woman who slithers her way into the lives of unsuspecting people like the legendary multi-tailed serpent for which she is named Orochi. Whenever I look up like horror manga recommendations, this is one that is recommended quite a lot, so I really hope it's good. Really love the cover and the art style, and it follows a mysterious young woman. Woman Eating by Claire Cotter. This is one I just need to read. Like, I've been wanting to read this for so long. Well, this year. But I've been wanting to read this for months. and it just sounds really fun. It is a vampire story and it's supposed to kind of be like silly goofy. So, you know, it has humor in it, but it's also supposed to be tragic and eccentric. A fun mix we've got going on there. And there's also discussions on serious issues of race, disability, misogyny, body image. So it just sounds like it's going to be really my type of book. So yeah, it follows a young vampire who is dealing with all kinds of hunger for acceptance, artistic success, sushi. And it's really fun as well because like the main character binge watches Buffy the Vampire Slayer and stuff. Like, fun. I just feel like this will be so fun. And it's also quite short. Oh my god. Literally like 230 pages. Wow. Yeah, 100%. Surely I'm gonna read this. Once again, maybe it could be fun for the Halloween 24-hour readathon. So then I have another thick book on the TBR, which is Night Film by Marisha Pestle. I've been wanting to read this for years and I feel like it's the time. It's definitely a chunky boy, but it just sounds really intriguing. On a damp October night, the body of beautiful Ashley Cordova is discovered in a Manhattan warehouse. Though her death is ruled a suicide, investigative journalist Scott McGrath suspects otherwise. The last time McGrath got too close to the Cordova dynasty, he lost his marriage and his career. This time, he could lose his mind. I'm also really excited because it has a multimedia format. Thank you. I love a book with a multimedia format, and it's honestly been too long since I've read one. The more that I'm talking about this, the more excited I get. So surely I read it this month. Then I have a reread, and that is Fangs by Sarah Anderson, which is one of my favorite graphic novels about a vampire and a werewolf who fall in love, and it's just really funny. It has like the dark humor that I just really appreciate, and it takes like 30 minutes to read, so it's like really quick, and I've actually never reread it. Like, I've read it once, so I need to reread it. If you haven't read this yet, I highly recommend it. Then I want to read The Fear by Natasha Preston. And I talked about this in my recent book haul, but basically it is a thriller. It's set in this small town where people are sharing their biggest fears and like, you know, I would hate to die this way. And then the people start dying the way that they shared. Very mysterious. So the main character Izzy tries to stop the killer and unravel the mystery. But yeah, it just sounds very fun. Then I really want to read Killers of a Certain Age, which is the book of the month book that I got last month. This basically follows a group of fun hags who go on vacation and they realize they've been marked for death. So obviously they need to fight back. Fun hag girl bosses. How fun does that sound? Like, I need to read this. Then I really want to read Juniper and Thorn. I will probably listen to the audiobook, and I got this recommendation from Hannah from the Clockwork Reader. She read it recently and really loved it and said it's like, you know, gothic horror vibes. You know I'm all about that. And this follows a young witch who seeks to discover her identity and escape the domination of her wizard father. Okay, now time to talk about the films I want to watch in October. So now I'm going to talk about some absolute classics that I love to rewatch every October. We've got Twitches, my absolute favorite Halloween movie. If you don't know, this follows Twin Witches. It's a Disney film, and you know, I watched it growing up, and honestly, every time I rewatch it, I'm like, you know what? This is still the best movie of all time. Like, it is just so good. It makes me cry. I love it. It's about these two twins who are separated at birth, and they have special powers that they're not fully aware of, and then they bump into each other and they're like, why do we look alike? And then they like connect, discover their powers, and they have to face this evil called the Darkness. Anyway, it's just so fun. So many classic characters. Literally a comfort movie for me, so obviously I will be rewatching Twitches. Two other classics, I'm planning to do a double feature on Patreon. So on Patreon we do monthly buddy movie nights, which is where we watch movies together via teleparty. And we're actually doing multiple for October because Caitlin and I, sorry I didn't even mention, I do it with Caitlin and her patrons as well. But yeah, we're going to do multiple this month because we have so many movies we want to watch. So we're doing a double feature for Frankenweenie and Nightmare Before Christmas. Two Tim Burton films. Watching these back to back, that would just be iconic. So Frankenweenie is basically obviously a Frankenstein retelling. So the main character, Victor's dog, dies and he tries to bring the dog back to life in a Frankenstein manner. I love it. Once again, makes me absolutely cry. And it's in black and white. It's so beautiful to watch. Obviously Tim Burton style's iconic. So cannot wait to watch that with everyone there. And then of course Nightmare Before Christmas, obviously, well maybe not obviously to you, but it is one of my favorite movies of all time. And I know it's kind of like a Halloween and Christmas movie, but I definitely think of it more as a Halloween movie. And obviously I watch this year round, but it's definitely very special to watch it during October. Then another movie I've actually already rewatched this month, Hocus Pocus, obviously a classic, but I'll probably want to rewatch it at some point this month and also rewatch Hocus Pocus 2. So Hocus Pocus 2 just came out recently and I watched it. That was one of our buddy movie nights. Oh my god, one of the best nights of my life, I'm not kidding. Like, it was so good, and honestly I love it even more than the first Hocus Pocus. Hocus Pocus is a 4 out of 5 star film for me. Like, I'm not like, wow, this is incredible. Like, obviously it is, but it's not, you know, perfection to me. A lot of that could also be to do with the fact that I didn't grow up with Hocus Pocus actually. I only watched it for the first time a few years ago. But yeah, obviously love Hocus Pocus, but there are just a few things that I'm like, like the main character being that random ass guy who's just really annoying. But Hocus Pocus 2, directed by a woman, and you can really tell it has the female gaze. It is so fun, and like all the male characters are just ridiculous and you can laugh, and obviously there's the focus on the female friendship and just celebration of women, and it's also just hilarious. Like, obviously the first one has some really funny moments, but the second one I couldn't keep up with how many iconic lines and funny moments there were. Like, I literally was like, I need to write this down, but there was like, you know, it was just too quick, too many. So I need to rewatch it, honestly have my notebook out and write down the iconic quotes because there are so many. Obviously also it's a lot more diverse, which I really appreciate. Obviously the first Hocus Pocus, literally where are the people of colour? So Hocus Pocus 2, I know some people are nervous to watch it because they don't want it to ruin the first movie. I personally think it's better than the first. I will be rewatching probably multiple times this month and for the rest of my life. Love you, Hocus Pocus 2. Another classic, Halloween Town. Obviously love Halloween Town. And actually I think I prefer the second Halloween Town because when I was growing up I watched the second one without realizing it was a sequel, and I was obsessed with that one. And then when I rewatched Halloween Town years later, because I actually struggled to watch it for so long because it wasn't available on like streaming services. I even tried to buy the DVD, I couldn't get it for the Australian region. It was really stressful actually. But when I finally rewatched Halloween Town like a few years ago, I watched the first one and I was like, wait a second, I've never watched this one. And it's definitely really fun, but I actually prefer the second one. Anyway, Halloween Town 1 and 2, thank you. I don't think I've watched the third one. Let me know if you think I should. I've heard some mixed reviews on that one. Yes, Halloween Town, so classic. We've got Lucas Gabriel. We've got Kelsey as well from High School Musical. 2 icons, and then obviously some more iconic characters. Just so fun. So of course, we'll be rewatching those. Then I want to rewatch Casper, obviously another iconic movie and one of my favorites. I love Casper so much, honestly. I cry every time. Like, I just love it. And obviously it has the fun spooky vibes in the fun like abandoned old house. Obviously the stunning ghosts, like perfect October vibes. Then we've got Trick or Treat, another really fun Halloween horror movie. And it's basically like an anthology, so it has multiple stories that interconnect and it's just fun. Like, fun is the word to describe it, and I love to rewatch it every Halloween. Then of course Halloween, another absolute classic. And I actually don't think I've watched this every Halloween, but I want to start that tradition now. I only watched Halloween for the first time a few years ago, but obviously loved it. And yeah, I definitely need to include that in my yearly rewatch list. Okay, so now for some other movies that aren't really like necessarily Halloween movies, but just like horror vibes. Killer Movie. Kevin told Caitlin and I about this recently, and this has Paul Wesley and Lady Meester, and it's supposed to be like a fun satirical horror movie. Are you kidding? That sounds so amazing. And Paul Wesley and Lady Meester, 2 people I love. Wow. We're planning to watch that all together, and that will be hopefully really stunning. Then I want to rewatch Coraline with Kevin because he's never watched it. And if you don't know, I love Coraline. I have this Coraline tattoo. But yeah, he's never watched it, so I want to experience him watching it for the first time, and we're planning to do that this month. Then a few more movies I want to watch that I've never watched before. Ginger Snaps. I don't know anything about it, but I think it was filmed in like the 90s, and it's supposed to be just like a really classic 90s horror. I believe 90s, maybe 2000s. And my friend Michelle told me to watch it, so trust their taste. Valentine horror movie. Once again, I was recommended that. My Best Friend's Exorcism, which has recently come out, and it's based on Grady Hendrix's book, which I did read and really, well, not really, but I enjoyed it. And I think it would just be a fun time. And lastly, Practical Magic, which I have never seen, but a lot of people tell me that I need to watch that movie, so hopefully I can watch that this month. So yes, lots of fun October plans. I'm very excited about all the media that I'm going to consume, and also I'm really excited about all the content that I'm planning to create this month. So hopefully you'll see some fun stuff. But yeah, I'd love to know what you're planning to read / watch this month. And thank you once again to Book of the Month for sponsoring this video. And don't forget, you can get your first book for just $9.99 by going to bookofthemonth.com and using my code with Chloe. If you're looking for more content from me, I have a Patreon where I upload extra content like extra vlogs. We do a monthly live show, we do a monthly buddy read, etc. That's always linked below, as well as my socials, including my Twitch. And that is where I stream games and just chatting. And we're going to be doing lots of fun Halloween and like horror game streams this month, and I'm actually streaming Alice Madness Returns, playing that for the first time tomorrow, so I'm really excited for that. But yeah, appreciate your support always. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you're all having a day or night, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! The dead can walk freely on Halloween. Everybody knows that.